Hey, welcome back, folks. Great to see you on this Friday. Got an update for you on our ongoing major winter storm through much of the South, with still many folks needing to kind of start that snow process and that ice process before we're all done. And we'll likely even see some light impacts going into tomorrow out of this storm system. After that, we're going to very quickly discuss what's coming on down the pipeline, and then I'll have a little message at the end of the video, so definitely stay tuned for that. But with that said, if you haven't already, go ahead, like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell for the latest notifications. Comment, let me know what you're seeing out there. That's going to help all of us kind of gauge where the storm's at and how some people might be overperforming and others might even be underperforming a little bit with this storm system. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into things because, again, this is going to be a quick video this morning. So you can see on our map here, here's our storm. Plenty of snow falling up through Missouri, portions of Arkansas, and now getting into much of Tennessee, North Alabama, much of northern Mississippi, already picking up on accumulating snow, and also snow now trying to creep on into portions of the western Carolinas, including the Greenville-Spartanburg area. I think Columbia going to start to see some sleet or snow here not long from now, maybe already by the time you're watching this. So definitely an impressive looking storm on satellite and on radar. There is definitely not hard to find. It's kind of staring you right in the face. Now, our current alerts map, it is still very active, folks. All those pink boxes are winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories as far south as Orangeburg, South Carolina, and as far north as portions of Michigan. So you get the idea here. A lot of folks still dealing with that winter weather, and that'll be a common theme through the rest of today as the storm continues to work eastbound, still bringing plenty of snow and plenty of ice with it. Now, let's go ahead and kind of break it down for you. We'll start here in the southeast and give you the updated timing and totals that are expected for snowfall and, again, that ice accretion that is going to be likely through portions of the southeast. All right, we'll move this all the way to about where we are now. This is 9 a.m. I think this is the RGM model, doing a pretty good job of handling things. You can see that icy mix here, likely beginning in Atlanta, continuing into Birmingham, and then kind of beginning to work into South Carolina by later this morning. Now, snow should still be falling into extreme northern Alabama, Georgia, getting into upstate South Carolina, and likely still snowing good up here into the state of Tennessee throughout the morning and even into this afternoon. Now, we move it even further ahead here. Let's go and get into about 2 p.m. Eastern time. I think we're fully in it by this point into the upstate from Greenville, Spartanburg, up through Asheville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, likely seeing snow at this point. We could change back over to rain in Atlanta. We could change back over to rain in the Midlands of South Carolina. This is something the models have been hinting at, but do not be surprised if a lot of this green you see down here is still some sort of icy mix or icy mess in that region. Would not be surprised to see that whatsoever out of the storm system, even into the afternoon and into the evening. Now, what starts as snow in the upstate and in Charlotte, likely changing over to sleet by the evening. You can see that purple taking over from Oconee County all the way up towards the Charlotte area. You see that pink, that is freezing rain into Columbia, back over towards Florence and into much of the northern PD and portions of the Sandhills by this evening. I think we'll say mostly snow up through Greensboro, snow mainly in the mountains, but sleet likely mixing in at times even up there, especially south of I-85 and the Triad, the Triangle as well, going to get kind of that snow sleet mix, maybe even some freezing rain, and staying all snow up into Kentucky, West Virginia. I think just about all snow in the entire state of Virginia out of this system as the storm is pulling away. This is about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., winding down in the western Carolinas, still ongoing in the eastern Carolinas, but by the time we're waking up Saturday morning, I think most of us clearing out here with just a little bit of some northwest flow precipitation left over on the backside of our storm up through portions of North Carolina and the Virginias, and then we're completely done likely by Saturday evening. Now, latest totals, this is straight from the National Weather Service, still expecting a good band of 1 to 3 inches of snow along I-85 northbound into the Carolinas. Some folks probably going to get a little bit more than 3 inches. Some folks could also probably get less than an inch, depending on how much of that sleet and ice begin to mix in. So that's kind of the forecast there. Into the Midlands, down here into the Sandhills, is really going to be more of an ice threat. You could get a little bit of snow or sleet to start, and then likely changing over to mainly freezing rain for the duration of this event. Now, all snow into Kentucky, West Virginia, and I think from Danville back into kind of the Richmond and Norfolk area, we're going to have a good area of 2 to 4 inches of snow where you're not going to deal with a sleet, and you'll get a good prolonged period of just some nice snowfall. Looks pretty likely out that way. Now, let me go ahead and show you ice totals. This is a concern for sure. You'll notice these totals have been bumped up since we last talked yesterday. A quarter of an inch, even more than that possible into North Georgia, into the I-20 corridor north, into upstate South Carolina. We're talking Newberry, over towards Camden, just south of Charlotte, likely even into Rock Hill, going to deal with some ice out of the system, and then becoming less so out here towards the Sandhills. But I still think a glaze to 1/10 of an inch even possible in that area out of this storm system. So it's not just the snow, that ice as well, and all of it kind of mixed together is going to make basically impossible travel conditions overnight tonight and even into tomorrow until we can get above the freezing mark and start to melt that stuff. But even then, the back roads that are more shaded, it'll stay ice really probably for most of Saturday, and we could be dealing with black ice concerns all the way into early next week. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Northeast as well and give you the data here and really just the rest of the East in general. All right, so this is this evening, snow even up into Indiana, into Ohio, portions of Michigan, and then we get all the way up into the northeast. We've got light snow in Philadelphia, New Jersey, overnight tonight into early tomorrow. And I think even some light snow through Long Island, really just much of the Northeast. Going to see these light snow showers or even just a prolonged period of light with little bursts of moderate snowfall through Saturday morning. And all of that continues and kind of fizzles out as it gets towards Maine. But then we could even see a little back end piece of energy kind of swing on through Cape Cod, Nantucket. That could up your snowfall totals a little bit. That would be Saturday evening and overnight before our storm pulls out of here. And then you see our next troublemaker beginning out here towards Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa by the time we get into late Saturday and early Sunday. Now, totals up here, not going to be dealing with ice. It'll be an all-snow event, but you kind of notice, and it's almost like Mother Nature's playing games with us on the I-95 corridor, but a bit of a snow gap here from Philadelphia up into Boston. It's just going to be really light. I still think a dusting up to an inch. Isolated spots could get a little bit more in that region, but most of the snow going to come down here into the Delmarva, DC, southward. We could get 1 to 3 inches of snow on top of whatever's still left from our last storm, and then some higher-end snowfall totals into the interior Northeast as our storm is pulling away, and we have a little bit more energy back out towards the Midwest that will up snowfall totals there. The I-95, though, unfortunately, kind of stuck in between systems here. Same story for you folks in Maine, outside of maybe closer towards the border there with New Hampshire and Vermont. You folks could get a little bit more, but up into northern Maine and the I-95 corridor are going to kind of get robbed out of this one. That's the unfortunate news. The good news, and this is good news for snow lovers at least, maybe not so much for other people, but I am watching a pattern change coming right around the 20th that could promote another scenario pretty similar to what we saw this week, kind of maybe a 1-2 punch in the storm department, and this one could favor the East Coast. It could favor the Midwest, the Mid-South. A lot of question marks still to be answered, but this is our latest European ensemble model, and this kind of takes all of the members from the European, puts it together, finds an average, and shows it to us. And this is what it's showing. So this is Monday afternoon. This is kind of that next system that I showed you coming in by Sunday into Monday. This could bring some wintry weather into the Midwest, into the Great Lakes. Not a big deal, but definitely some snow out of that one. But then we get closer to the 20th, and we're going to get a little bit of a warmer period. I think the 15th through the 17th, 18th. But here we go into the 19th and 20th, a big block of cold once again in about 10 days. Works down south into the western part of the country and into the central part of the country, and this very likely to once again promote more storminess with that Arctic air, and obviously that's going to probably mean snowfall. So what could this look like? Well, that's a great question. Let's take a look at the latest European model for what this setup could be. So this is this weekend. Here's the one little storm in the Midwest. This would be here's Saturday afternoon. Here's Sunday afternoon right here. Not a big deal, but a little system there. Maybe even a little disturbance down near the Gulf that could bring some rain. After that, though, it gets quiet for a little bit. Through much next week, I think it's going to warm up a bit. It'll be nicer. And then we get towards the 20th, and you'll notice that stormy activity beginning once more. And you see up here, this is a big block of Arctic air moving southward. So should that time up with any sort of storm system, we once again could be tracking another major winter storm in about 10 or so days. And you can see the European tries to build something here into the east, into the Ohio Valley, into the Northeast in that 10-day time frame. And then after that, the cold air settles in, and maybe we can get another southern piece of energy to line up with that cold, and we could redo the whole thing again before January is over. Alrighty, folks. So that's all I got for you forecast wise. Kind of a quick announcement here. I have a plane ride in about an hour or two out of Charlotte. I have a kind of a trip I have to take, a meteorology trip. It'll be fun and all, down to New Orleans. So I will not have a video tonight. I will not have a video tomorrow, which is Saturday. I won't have a video Sunday. Also, will not have a video Monday because I won't land till Monday evening. So I won't see you again until Tuesday morning. That's when I should have the next update. I also just want to say thank you so much for all of the support over the past 2 weeks. It has been incredible. We passed 30,000 subscribers. The growth has really just been kind of off the charts. So I want to say thank you for that. And again, just remind you that I will be gone for a couple of days on a trip. So with that said, y'all have a great one, and I'll see you all next time.